After 2 defeats, things must feel better around the camp after the 2 wins this week.
Yeah, maybe a couple cup games might have come at the right time for us to sort of iron out a few issues which we were having the previous 2 weeks in the league. But hopefully, these are 2 games which we needed to sort of get ourselves back together and we can kick on again in the league.
And come from 2-0 down to beat Oldham to win on Tuesday must have felt good as well.
Yeah, the lads, I think we were actually playing quite well, even when we were 2-0 down. Couple errors for their goals, but on a whole, we played some good stuff. And I think, again, at home, winning at home and keeping our home record strong is going to be massive for us going forward.
It was nice for Paul Glatzel to get the 2 and get the winning goal as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Paul say probably his best performance since he's been here with us, and he's been working hard in training, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do on the pitch to get a chance again in the league.
And you're into the second round of the FA Cup after beating Crawley last weekend. You know, that result was doubly important, wasn't it? First of all, to get through, but also get back to winning ways as well. How much that help you after the 2 defeats?
Yeah, we went back to basics a little bit in that game, away from home, tough place to go. And we sort of said, we've been making too many errors at the back and we need to go back to being solid and build from a strong base again. And I think at Crawley, we showed that sort of togetherness which we needed after a tough little period of results. And we got getting the goal first was massive for us, I think, in that game, and it gave us something to hold on to.
And how much does the FA Cup, is it important to you as a player? Do you love playing the FA Cup?
Yeah, I think everyone desperate to just get to the 3rd round, first of all, just so we can, that chance of playing one of the big boys and going toe-to-toe with anyone, which we can. And I think it's also big for the fans as well, the FA Cup. So that little magic which people look forward to every year, and seeing that draw on the Sunday is what, like, we sit down, the fans sit down, and it's something we all look forward to. And
you were flying before you lost to Northampton and Mansfield. And, you know, because you're doing so well, how frustrating is it when things just go the opposite way, just in an instant?
Yeah, and because it was hard to put our finger on what went wrong. We had a poor second half at Northampton and a poor full performance at Mansfield. And we just sort of came off what we were doing previous to that, because we were on such a good run and confidence was so high. And sometimes those games happen, and we've had meetings, we've had like harsh words around the place, and we feel now that we're getting back on the right path.
You say about those harsh words. Does that really help when you do have these meetings and, you know, you let everything out?
Well, we've got a good experienced, honest group who have been around the higher leagues in League Two and have done what you need to do to get promoted out of divisions. So everyone needs to take on board what everybody says, and everyone has their own piece which they believe will help the team. And as long as everyone's taken it on board and it's done in the right way, it's only positive.
And we last spoke to you late September. You were just building your minutes up just then after returning from injury. How do you feel it's gone for yourself since?
Yeah, I'm getting fitter. There's still inconsistency in performances, but now I'm starting to put the games together. Hopefully we can go again. I can kick on and I can start influencing games even more.
And Josh Cogley was speaking to us recently about how the position of the fullback has changed. You're only 23. How much has it changed since you started to now in the role?
Yeah, there's a lot of demanded of you as a fullback with the way teams play. It's often the out ball against formations in this league as well. It's often the free passes out to fullback, so you're demanded on for creativity and to influence the games both ways. I mean, this gaffer is very strong as well on being a good back four, which is important, back to being resolute, being strong as a defender, and then anything going forward is a massive bonus.
And what players do you study? Is your fellow Scott Andy Robertson, is he high on the list for you to look at, or is there other players like Tierney's as well? And
there's a high list of fullbacks nowadays, which you probably see more now than in past years. There's a lot of numbers of fullbacks coming through who are all at a high level, because it's become a position more now than a do your job position. It's now a position which people influence games on. So I think there's a lot more focus on fullbacks in higher leagues. So yeah, there's loads of players now, and especially in the Premier League, which you can look at. And
how much do you enjoy, getting forward as well as defending as well?
Yeah, it's more, I guess, defending's the main job, but then the enjoyment comes from going on little runs and overlaps and linking in with your attackers. That's where I guess some enjoyment comes from, and it also adds to your performance.
And just getting back to the team, you've not won any of your last 3 league games. So how important is it to get that win on Saturday? You can go above Sutton as well, can't you, if you take that victory?
Yeah, it's massive, the 3 points for us, first and foremost, just to get that, start another run off, which we went on before. We were on such a good little run of games that if we can get one again and we can build up another little run of games, it's only going to help us, especially going into a sort of busy Christmas period coming up.
And 3 of your next 4 games are at home as well. How crucial could that be for you?
Yes, we've had strong support at home from the fans, and we've had, on the whole, I think we've got a pretty good home record this season. So we keep that going, and next, say 3 out of the 4 games, if we can pick up some good points, we'll be in a good position after those games.
Cheers, thanks very much, Calum.
Thank you, mate.
Calum, Carl stole me thunder a little bit with his last question, because that was my first question for you. But I'll just elaborate on it a little bit. I suppose you've had a couple of away trips. Well, I think you had 3 out of the last 4 have been away, haven't you? And prior to that, the record, prior to that blip against Northampton, the record at home has been really strong. So it must be an advantage after all those away games to be back at Prenton Park this Saturday.
Yes, we did feel strong at home. We had the Colchester game, I think, on the Friday, where we were very good and the crowd were up, and it felt like it was a start of something which we could really build on. And unfortunately, that just took a little bit of a halt, a little bit of a blip. But the sooner we put that to bed and we use these next games to get back on the sort of right path, then that's only going to be good for us.
I think, rightly or wrongly, I don't think many saw that home defeat to Northampton necessarily coming. You said you bined out a few things that have gone wrong in the last couple of weeks. Are you able to tell us what any of those things are?
A lot of it was getting back to doing the principles we spoke about through pre-season. The manager's very clear with what he asked for us. It's a very set instructions, and we all know our roles and responsibilities. And probably for the 90 minutes in Mansfield and the Northampton performance, we came off them individually and as a team a little bit. And I think that because we've had a bit of time now between league games, and we've had time in the cup to change things around a little bit, add things from meetings we've had. And I think now they've been sort of addressed, there's definitely no more excuses going forward over these next few games.
Tranmere had, decent runs of form and good performances last season, and at some point, the wheels came off. So, is it hard when you're winning games and you're feeling good and you're feeling confident? Is it? I don't want to say complacent, but can you take your eye off is it easy to take your eye off those fundamentals when you feel that sort of confidence in you to go on and just attack games?
Probably, I wouldn't say you'd come off intentionally at all. It's when the momentum's so high and you're batting off wins after wins. I think last year we went on a lot of good runs, but then, like you said, we sort of rode a bit of waves. We sort of had little dips in the season. And I think the successful teams in this league maintain that sort of consistency. Like if they lose a game, they're bouncing back quickly and they go on again, little runs of wins. And I think we'd say if you can average 2 points a game on average in this league, you're doing pretty well. You're going to be there or thereabouts. So we need to get back to that sort of points tally, and that's only going to come from winning the next few games.
Sutton United are obviously new to the Football League, but they're no strangers to Prenton Park because they came here, 3 times in 3 seasons that Tranmere spent in the National League. Always a tough opponent. Have you ever played against them before? Have you had much to do with them?
I have not played against them, I don't think, but I have. We've done a bit on them. I think a few of the lads have played against them, and teams which get promoted out of League Two, you see it out of the National League. Sorry, you see it with Harrogate. You've seen it with Barrow. They don't come up and they're easy teams to beat. They're riding that sort of wave of promotion and that sort of momentum they've brought up with them. So they're never easy games against newly promoted teams. So it's going to be a tough test as any other game is on Saturday.
Mickey said this year that he thinks the standard of the teams in League Two this year is as high as he's ever seen it. Certainly noticed the difference in his 2 spells as manager at the club. Have you noticed any difference this season?
Yeah, probably. I think with COVID, the squads have been shrunk down, and I think that means players probably have come down the leagues more than usual have over the few years. So the league is a good standard, and we feel that we are still one of the strongest teams in this league. So the standard's no excuse for what we want to do. We want to set the highest standards. So yeah, that's I guess it probably is, but it shouldn't affect how we go into games or our performances.